Early on Wednesday morning, Hurricane Italia wreaked havoc over Florida's Gulf Coast, unleashing powerful gusts, copious rain, and life-threatening floods from Tampa to Tallahassee. The National Hurricane Center degraded Italia to a tropical storm at roughly 4:50 p.m. local time. Tragically, 2 men who were driving lost control of their cars and died during the storm, a 59-year-old Gainesville resident and a 40-year-old Spring Hill resident. These fatalities were recorded by the Florida Highway Patrol. Around 7 a.m. Eastern Time, Italia, a strong Category 3 hurricane with a disastrous storm surge and severe winds, made landfall. It was downgraded to a Category 2 storm at 10 a.m. local time, and by noon it had become a Category 1 hurricane. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis revealed that the storm's eye has left Florida during a press conference at 12:30 p.m. However, as the tide rose during the day, it was anticipated that storm surge would endure and get worse. The little island city, which has a population of about 700, was particularly heavily damaged as the streets were flooded by the storm. There was a requirement to leave the city. Videos from the city's fire department showed water flowing through pitch-black streets as the rain fell non-stop. They mentioned a local power outage and the fact that the majority of the downtown streets were underwater. First responders had a difficult time determining the full scope of the damage due to the storm's severity. Storm surge produced significant flooding in a number of coastal cities, including Tarpon Springs, Clearwater, and St. Petersburg. Residents of Clearwater who hadn't evacuated were warned to conserve water because the storm surge put a strain on the city's stormwater system. Police in St. Petersburg launched a rescue effort to save a resident of a mobile home park from floods. Pictures from Cedar Key revealed felled trees and rushing water, and videos and images showed extensive wreckage. About 1.5 miles inland, Newport Richey also experienced floods as water levels rose to the level of headlights. Due to considerable floods, Treasure Island had to shut down its bridges. The south end of the airfield was reported to be flooded by the Tampa International Airport, although it was assured that the runways were unaffected. Due to bad weather, other airports in the hurricane's path have also closed. Governor DeSantis gave an update, pointing out the serious devastation along Florida's Big Bend while praising the fortitude of the impacted areas. 420,000 accounts have already had their electricity restored, but 141,000 customers remain without it across the state. Around 40 successful rescues, including 29 by the Florida National Guard, according to DeSantis. Fish and wildlife officers carried out high water and well-being checks as well as assisting with medical evacuations. The priorities were set by D.N. Criswell, administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and they included re-establishing power and cleaning up debris. Efforts were made to secure everyone's safety and restore crucial services as Italia moved off the coast of the Carolinas. Florida deployed between 30,000 and 40,000 linemen to restore electricity, while the Army Corps of Engineers was ready to help with the installation of backup generators. Around 145,000 Florida customers were still without power as of 8 a.m. Eastern Time, while 107,000 people in Georgia, 33,000 in North Carolina, and 23,000 in South Carolina were also without power. In response to the terrible flooding brought on by Hurricane Italia, President Joe Biden issued the emergency declaration for South Carolina. In Charleston, there was significant flooding. Italy downed power lines, left tens of thousands of Georgians without electricity, and blocked roads with fallen trees and other debris. Valdosta and the surrounding areas sustained substantial damage as a result of the storm's strong winds and copious rain. Local communities are determining the extent of the damage and seeking assistance as part of ongoing recovery efforts. Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas have all been affected by the storm, and localities are banding together to deal with the aftermath.